Okay, to make you understand it better, I'll show you the other examples. But before we can before we can use that example, I have to explain you uh the array. That is very important concept in all programming languages, and in Python you don't have to use the list instead. The way that you can create an array is like this. Um, I will comment everything out here first. Okay, I'll create an array of an integer. The way that you can create an array of integer is you have to declare it. This one is the integer, and this one tell the compiler that this the variable next variable will be an array. For example, I will use numbers to be. There are many ways that you can create the an array. At first, you can specify the member. So you start with the curly bracket and then end with the curly bracket also. So this one tells the compiler that this is an array of integers. The name is numbers. Name of this variable is numbers, and this one is the actual data. And then if you want to access to each element, you can use number zero, same as the way that you had in Python. But if you want to use the loop to iterate through all elements, so you can start from for int I to be zero, I less than numbers dot length, and then I plus plus, and then system dot out dot print line numbers I. Okay, so once you write your program, you can see that from all element in this array will be printed out to the screen. Okay, so this is the first examples of an array. Next. I'll create another one, but this time look at this. I will create using a statement new int of 10. It means that new int of 10, it will create an array, the actual array of size 10, but this time without any element. So uh, if you want to know, if you create an empty array of 10 elements, but you didn't initialize the values of them, what is the default values? So this one is, you can see that the default values is 0. The default value is 0. So it's super easy, right? And then once you create this, you can assign the values to all of your numbers. For example, number I is this time I plus 1, for example. And then this is the loop of creating or assign the I assign the values of each element in the array using this loop, and this one I just print all of them out to the screen. Sorry, system dot out dot print line and number sign. That's all. And now you can see that all values are instantiated here. So this is the way that you can access the element in the array. And here the syntax of your loop is the first one. There are three parts. The first part is initialize. You have to use the control variable. For example, in this loop, I use I to be the control variable, and I use it to start I to be 0. And while I is less than numbers dot length, it means that I uh, still use I is less than the number of element in the array and I plus plus. In each iteration, in each iteration, it will end with I plus plus. It is the way that you can increment your I values. I plus plus mean increment first and then sorry, use the values of I first and then increment. I'll tell you later about this. And the next loop is please look at this. Um our next loop is I will use the uh special type. I will declare it to be a number. This is the same way as you did in Python. Int number in array of number. This one is the variable name that you created to copy each element from this array. So in this loop, if you think that you have to iterate to all elements in this array, no need to use the index. You can use this kind of loop. Print line and print the number. That's all. So you can see that uh, we just the print the last loop out to the screen. So is it correct? Yeah, it's correct. So please look at this one. Look at this one. This one is the another kind of loop. Okay. So this is the way that you can use the array in Java. Okay. So next, I will create another example, but this time I will create an array of all objects. Okay. So let's talk about that in the next video.